Welcome to Goal Outlet, your guide to entrepreneurship and digital marketing with your host, Mike McDermott. Goal Outlet dishes up killer growth hacking strategies from today's small business movers and shakers. Find out more at goaloutlet.com. Thanks for listening.
Good day and welcome to another installment of Goal Outlet, delivering unique tactics for reaching your goals. Right here at Goal Outlet, I am your host, Mike McDermott, and it's Thursday, September 27th, and it's a good day to talk about timing. Okay, so when talking about timing, I had a meeting the other day with a prospect, and they were basically trying to solution the very last piece of the sales process for themselves. They really were trying to hone in on, getting more clients in the close phase, right? And really forgetting about some of the other pieces and other parts of the sales process that they not only skipped over, but didn't know existed. So I wanted to take a few minutes this morning to talk about the steps of the sales process, because a sales process to me really means building relationships. Okay. So, just think about selling something, selling a product or a service that you have, as building a relationship, as just like dating, right? So, when you're out on the dating scene as a single person, you are out there and it's all about timing. Everyone thinks about, okay, so when should I ask her out? When should I open up about a particular subject? When should I become vulnerable in this relationship? When should I go in and say, hey, I had a bad day. I'm not this white knight. And when you're dating, that really is, it's really a black and white type of thing. You can do it too soon in a relationship, or you can forget about it and not do it at all, skip over it, and then, then your relationship with that particular person will fail. So think about it in those terms. I'm going to go through some steps here to the sales process and really indicate some of those areas that were skipped over by our prospect. So the first step is obviously product knowledge. You have to know what you're selling. What are you selling exactly? And think about your product in the customer's eyes. Now, a lot of us that are product specialists or service specialists, we understand our product inside and out, and so we talk about our product in a very technical sense, not necessarily in a way that lets people know how that product helps them. Okay, so you need to know why your product's unique in the market, and then how it provides value in the market. That's the most important piece about what you do. Understanding product knowledge in a way that communicates it in the best way to a client. Number 2, prospecting. Okay, so everyone thinks of sales, prospecting. We need to go find new customers. Okay, so am I just going to go and yell at everybody? No. First thing we do is we build a persona of the perfect customer. And then we go after everyone that we consider to be our perfect customer. Is there a perfect customer, the one that buys 100 widgets or the one that buys one widget every day? It's those kinds of things that we look at in the sales process, and sometimes, honestly, skip over. Is prospecting is the very foundation of the sales process. Okay, number 3 is the needs assessment. Okay, so think about your product and how it's a good fit for the customer. Not what technically your product or service does, but how does it fit for them? Is your product purpose built for them? And if so, explain it to them. If not, do some active listening on your part. Listen to what they're saying and discover whether or not your product or service is a great fit for them. And then once you know it is a great fit for them, sell it to them. If it's not a great fit, you may even want to take that circuitous route and say, hey, this product or service may not be a good fit for you at this time because of XYZ, right? So you're going to go in and say, it may not be a good fit for you because your company's not large enough to do this, or your current processes that you just explained to me cannot utilize our product or service. Another tactic there for the needs assessment is empathy. Understanding what kind of pain points your client has allows you to better sell into that particular market. So becoming empathetic. Another tactic I have when working on the needs assessment is actually writing things down. That was one of the things that working, at the senior manager level is, I required everyone to bring a notepad and a piece of paper to my meetings. Well, this is back in the old days when people used paper and pens. But taking notes and listening, active listening. So when things were said in the room, notes were taken, and that meant, at least on a very surface level, that we understood and we recognized the needs of the customer. Okay. Number 4, the pitch. Okay. So this is the thing where you either sink or swim. You need to articulate the immediate future value or the immediate value to your prospect, your lead. You need to go in and say, okay, so immediately this product or service is going to help you do this, this, and this. And in the future, through the use of our product, it's going to be this, this, and this, right? And so these things these thises all came from the needs assessment. And then your knowledge of the product that you're selling. Number 5, objection handling. This is where everyone hates the sales process, is dealing with objection. How do you go and deal with a customer that says no, that says, I don't need your product or service right now. I am not in the market. Well, I'm not in a market really shouldn't come out in the objection handling phase, should it? Right? You should already know that, because you already did a needs assessment on that customer. You know whether or not they need that product or service. You didn't have to deal with an objection because you took your notes, you did your active listening, and you understood that your product or service was a bad fit for them, right? And then the objection handling is, hey, you're right. I absolutely know that our product or service is not good for you. I already knew that back in step 3. Now we're at step 5, right? Sometimes, however, you'll get a no in step 5. Okay, so after you do the pitch, after you've done the needs assessment, after you've done the pitch, you did all of those steps, all 4 steps leading up to objection handling step. Okay, so now you have to deal with an objection. Now, if you did every step 1, 2, 3, and 4 to the letter, right? You performed each one of those steps. You should have gained conversational dominance. So this is something that is incredibly important when it comes to a objection from a lead, is having conversational dominance. What I mean by that is when someone says, I don't think this is the right time for me, you come right back at them and you say, tell me why it's not a good time. Because from what I just heard from you, looking back at your notes, is that you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. And how come we can't make this work? You need these things. You just told me you did. Here are the notes if you want to see them. And I would like to go in and make this happen today, right? And so that's how you deal with objections. You should never get to step 5 without being able to deal with 99% of the client objections, okay? But be ready to be surprised. Occasionally, some people will have had no in their head the whole time. You couldn't see through it in the needs assessment. You couldn't see through it through the prospecting phase. You couldn't see through it as you were making your pitch. So be ready to be surprised. Then there's the closing phase, right? So this is the phase where the customer has made a decision either to use you or not use you. Okay, so if they decide to use you, congratulations, you have a new customer. It's a big win. Everyone loves a big win, right? That's awesome. Then occasionally in the close, you lose. You lose the deal. The deal falls apart. It may not have had to do with the objection at all. It could have been something that you have no control of. Okay, so like cash flow. Cash flow is a perfect example. You sell to a customer, they need your service. They tell you they need your service. You tell them how much your product or service is, and they go, I just don't have enough money. It's a cash flow issue, right? So what do you do then, right? You just huff puff, walk out. No, you're going to take that lead and you're going to post-process them. You're going to take them, they said no, and you're going to follow up. The first thing I do when I lose a deal is I say, when can I call you next? Because then they have to go, why in the world does he want to know when he can call me next? I just told the guy no. He still thinks that he's going to sell me something, and I just said no, right? That doesn't make any sense. So you put them on their heels when you ask them that. And then you throw out a date and a time in the future. And you say, I'm free. I'm free, 2 months from now on Thursday at 3:00. Can I follow up then? And because they're on their heels, they're going to say yes. Then you're going to follow up. You're going to have a new opportunity. So then you go back home and you run through all of the steps to make sure that you did them all. Do you know enough about the product to be able to have them comprehend what you're selling? Did you prospect properly? Is this the kind of client you want to deal with? Did you provide a excellent needs assessment through active listening, using empathy, taking notes, and following up? How was your pitch? Was it solid? Did it fail? What happened? Right? So it gives you the ability to go and do that. You have 2 months now, or maybe a month, or maybe 6 weeks, whatever your time frame for follow-up. Set that time frame to follow up. And then hit them again and again with the objection. I understood that you objected to this. This is what we can do. Are you ready now? So keep this short today. I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood all 6 steps to that process. Product knowledge, prospecting, needs assessment, pitch, objection handling, and closing. I wanted everyone to be really fresh, have that in your head. Think about it when you're selling your products. Did I skip a step? Did I assume something on behalf of my client? And is that why I lost the deal? For Goal Outlet, this is Mike McDermott. Have yourself a wonderful day.